Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got 5 more really cool knives that you guys are definitely going to want to check out. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. I will provide as much information for each of these knives right down below, but I'm going to tell you guys, a bunch of the knives on today's list are not available yet. The idea here is to let you guys know that they are coming, to make you aware of them for people who want to get their hands on them when they do release. So, I'm not heartless, so there's at least one knife on this list that you can get right now, depending on where you're watching it. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. As per usual, these knives are in no particular order, no particular criteria. It's literally just knives that I think are cool, and I want to let you guys know about them. So, let's go ahead and move in here to the first one. This is a knife you guys probably know about by now. It's a knife that will periodically be available, and that's the Wee Big Banter. You guys probably know about the baby banter and the medium-sized banter, right? This is the big guy. I'll link all of them right down below so you guys can check them out. This is my favorite of the bunch, right? I get his, design philosophy with the smaller two. They're a more reasonable-sized EDC knife. But for me, and it's not like, my hands are big, so I gotta have a big... No, I just like bigger knives, right? I like that I can get a full purchase on this and kind of move around and get where I want. This is a Wee knife, very premium manufacturing. It's actually utilizing CPM 20CV steel, so American steel. Thumb studs are placed in exactly the right spot, in my opinion. It's pretty straightforward. The only sort of, fancy elements here are the thumb studs. They are blue. You can get a standard one in green, and I think it's kind of like maybe a bead blasted or satin finish on the blade, and then the thumb studs are gray if you want something more plain. The best thing about this knife is the fact that it's so ultra utilitarian. It kind of reminds me of an Ontario Rat, where everything has been upgraded. So really 100% utility in mind. It does run on bearings, and it does definitely have those elements that scratch the itch of an enthusiast. But really like blade shape, ergonomic lines, overall profile, pocket clip, all of that really just screams utility, and I am a huge fan of that. This knife comes in at about $145 at base, $147 for the black one. I will link it down below. You guys should definitely check this one out. Moving on to the part of the list where these knives are coming soon. This is one that has been asked about many times in my comment section. This guy's coming. This is the Wee Thug XL. Man, this thing is cool. You guys probably remember the original Thug. It was the same thing, or very close to the same thing, but much shorter. I think a lot of people, it was a very popular knife, but a lot of people said, cool, now make a bigger one. And now we're going to have it very soon. There's a pre-order link on Blade HQ. They start at $300, which I'm going to tell you, this is one of those that's conflicting. The knife, definitely cool. The finish on the scales, I love this. This sort of deep, like the horizontal lines here, and it's kind of like like a showroom floor finish. Same with the blade, right? Really nice. The subtle bronze on the thumb stud and the pivot collar. It doesn't look like it, but this actually is a milled titanium pocket clip. We have a nice titanium backspacer. Just really cool. That compound tanto is awesome. It really works perfectly as a full-size knife. This is definitely a premium knife. CPM 20 CV steel, right? The price tag, these are made in China. Wee knives are made in China if you didn't know, right? Most people know by now. It's up there. The price is way up there. It's one of those things where I'm conflicted because the knife is absolutely cool, which is the only criteria for this for this series, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be economic in terms of value or price, right? But it's very cool, and people will undoubtedly be drawn to it. But man, that price is up there at $300. This is more around the $250 territory for like kind of, okay, yeah, that's, about what we expect. And I think, there are companies definitely putting out similar quality and similar cool factor for, quite a bit less. Yeah, it's a super cool knife, definitely. And I'm sure that people will be interested in it when the day finally comes that they drop. So absolutely a cool one. Next up, one that was originally, as far as I can tell, only available in premium form and will be coming soon in budget form, and that is the super weird Bestech Strelitz. I'm not really sure. It's kind of a folding raptor talon push dagger kind of thing. Now, whatever role you want to force this in for yourself, right? If you see yourself as a tactical fellow who fights off ninjas on his way to the grocery store, whatever, right? This, to me, is not something that is ultra utilitarian. But if you're watching my channel, you probably don't always carry the most practical knife day to day, right? You probably carry what you enjoy, regardless of whether or not you will use it for its intended purpose. 99.999% of the people who buy this thing will carry it just to open packages and stuff, right? But it is neat. It's weird. We don't usually see stuff like this in the knife world. Originally, these were, for whatever reason, only available in like M390 and carbon fiber and titanium, and they were like over $200, which is kind of, I feel like they kind of missed the mark with this. This is more something you buy when you're just trying to scratch a little itch and you're kind of on a budget, right? This is 14C28N and G10. Still very nice, still definitely high quality, but it won't cost nearly as much. I don't know exactly what this thing is going to cost yet. They sent this to me as a sample. In fact, you guys haven't seen me unbox any of this stuff yet on the channel, so you're kind of getting a preview here. My guess is that this knife will come in between $50 and $70. At least that's what it should come in my opinion. But yeah, anybody who's ever seen this in the titanium form and thought, neat, I'm not really interested in paying $200 and something for that, even if it is made out of premium materials. This one just makes a whole lot more sense if this is the kind of thing that you're into. Truthfully, this is not something that I would carry day to day and try to use, right? I mean, you can kind of hold it like this if you want to, you know, if you want to kind of put on a show while you're opening your Amazon packages or whatever. And, you know, truth be told, in an extreme scenario where this is all you have to defend yourself, I would imagine it probably would work pretty well. I don't know. That's not my forte, so I can't really speak on that. I'm just making a guess based on, you know, all the 80s action movies that I've seen in my lifetime. But yeah, definitely still a cool knife, a weird one. And it's just kind of funny flipping this thing and having it only come out halfway and locking out, or I'm sorry, having it come out at a 90-degree angle is it's kind of weird, but it's also kind of cool. So there you go. That's an interesting one. Moving on here, this will likely be the star of the show for a lot of people. This is going to make many of you very happy. Some of you are probably aware of the Kickstarter for the Kunwu Pulsar. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Kunwu always does a fantastic job of catering to what people want and bringing us awesome materials for an awesome price. This time they've taken it a step further. Almost feels like they're appealing just for me because I love textured titanium, right? I know a lot of you guys do too, but this Pulsar prototype has textured titanium, right? We have their bar lock that has the cool titanium tabs that just sort of melt into your fingers. We have an awesome sheep's foot Elmax blade with a beautiful choil in it. Awesome pocket clip, right? We've got a lanyard hole if you really love lanyards. And it is, because it is an ambidextrous lock, the pocket clip can be mounted for left-hand carry, so lefties rejoice. Wait! It's not even the best part. The target price for this, are you ready? The target price for this knife is $160. Yes, I'm serious. Kunwu is hyper competitive when it comes to this, like the premium pocket knife market. And this one here is a prototype. He's got a couple of tweaks he's going to make to it, but man, this thing is killer. This is absolutely spectacular. A great example of a one and done pocket knife. These are really, really well made, and they just hit so many nails right on the head. They check so many boxes. I am so enthusiastic about this, and I know you guys will be too. I'll make sure to link all the information about this knife down in the description so you guys can check it out. I don't know exactly when the pre-order is coming, but it's coming soon. You guys have not seen me unbox this yet. My content is pre-recorded. If that's confusing to you, I do not release content in order after I film it. Sometimes it just depends on the day, right? At some point, you'll see me unbox this and then fully review it, as is the case with all of the knives on this channel. In this episode. But I really wanted to get the information about this one in particular out there as fast as possible. So, Kunwu Pulsar, definitely cool. Last, but certainly not least, and definitely a contender, not in terms of price, but in terms of cool factor with the Kunwu Pulsar, this is the Golden Design Works Standard. This, once again, is a prototype where pre-orders will be coming soon. I will link information for this knife right down below. Very straightforward utilitarian line, certainly not a blade shape we've never seen before, and certainly not a handle profile we've never seen before. What I enjoy are kind of the elements of refinement here for a design that is, very similar to a lot of other stuff we've seen. I'm a big fan of this texturing here. I really like these little sort of bowls that he's milled into the scale here. I also really like the fact that we have Shadowbox titanium liners, and it is a titanium liner lock with a steel lock bar insert. Now this one here says mag. I know you guys are getting excited saying, is that MagnaCut? Yeah, the prototype is, but I believe the actual production versions will be M390. Why? Because it's really hard for people who are having knives manufactured overseas to get MagnaCut over there. It's just as hard, right? I'm sure that was the original intention, but M390 is certainly fine and certainly well accentuated with this blade geometry. This blade is freaking awesome. It is a simple drop point blade, but it's done perfectly, and that choil is amazing. I love it. Something that just drives me nuts is when companies are like, yeah, we're gonna do a choil, but we're gonna make it just big enough to squeeze a baby carrot in there. It's for your finger, and what's right next to it is a sharpened blade. Make it roomy. If you're gonna do it, go for it. Don't give me this half sharpening choil, half finger choil thing. It's like, well, good luck. Don't cut your finger. No, give me a nice big deep half moon so I can get my second knuckle in there. Everything I'm saying here is really suggestive. Like if you just jumped in without any context and you couldn't see what I was holding. So yeah, anyways, what I'm saying is I really appreciate that. I also like the fact that we can get in here, do the reverse flick. You can do the standard sort of, bad example, thumb flick, and you can also, as you saw me do earlier, do the front flipper here, which is just great. This is really fidgety, really cool, scratching a lot of itches for the enthusiast, but also for the general knife nut who likes to use their premium knives. If you're new to the knife world, yes, people definitely use knives that cost a lot of money. In fact, this is hardly scratching the surface. When we're talking about expensive, this is nowhere near what I would label generally as expensive when we're considering the grand scheme of the knife world. Again, this is a prototype. A couple of tweaks are going to be made. I will review this fully, do a full comprehensive review at some point and give you guys all of the details, but this is largely spectacular, and I am a huge fan of it. You can see here all the elements of precision that we want to see in a knife like this. Really, really nice. I think the pre-order price for this, which I think is available right now, is $269. Now, considering what we are looking at here, this is fairly par for the course. We have a lot of companies charging the same price for the same materials, but executing the materials in a lackluster way, making the value seem less than present. This is not the case. There's a lot of detail here. There's a lot of good stuff here, a lot of stuff that we all appreciate, and I think they did a pretty good job. So once again, we have the Golden Design Works Standard. We have the Kunwu Pulsar with the bar lock. We have the very bizarre, but I'm glad they're making a cheaper one, Bestech Strelitz. I'm not really sure exactly how to pronounce that. We have the sure to be extremely popular WeThug XL and the already popular We Big Banter. Very cool stuff. Like I said, everything will be linked down below as far as just all the information that I can possibly get about it, so you guys can, be ready for some of the stuff that's coming. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of 5 Cool Knives. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.